What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So, breaking now, Joe Biden has just pardoned his son, which, any logical thinking person would understand and be honest with you, would also, expect this. And it's a lot of things that's going on. And the reason why I guarantee you he had to do this at the same time, though, too, you know, um, of course, this is his child, his last sole male heir. And yeah, it is what it is out here. So we're going to dive off into these things and we're going to see what's going on. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Joe Biden is being blasted today for pardoning Hunter Biden's federal convictions despite adamantly saying he would never pardon his son. Joe Biden released a statement explaining his decision, saying, "Today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted." He added, "It is clear that Hunter was treated differently." The news comes as a shock as the president has said several times that he would never pardon his son.
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre doubled down on this.
Second one, will the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear and I said no.
Okay. We go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying it would not.
It's still a no. It's still a
It
no.
will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
The backflip has been blasted by commentators online, with this commentator saying, "For years, Joe Biden's administration assured you Joe would never pardon Hunter. It's really extraordinary how blatantly they lie." And this commentator agreed, saying the backflip is a stain on the family's legacy. Joe Biden has pardoned his...
Now, the stain on the family's legacy at this point right now, with everything that went on and stuff like that. And be honest with you, I'm just going to be real. The way that they did do Joe with this, past election, stuff like that, how they just discarded him and stuff like that. But at the same time, though, too, you know what I'm saying? We saw how Joe's mental state was at the, at the situation where he was battling Trump and things like that. We saw how his mental state, he was babbling, all types of stuff. So it was crazy, though. And, Nancy Pelosi, pulled the card. It just is what it is.
Son Hunter Biden after he was
So yeah, him and Jill's pissed.
convicted in a court of law. What a perfectly corrupt ending to a disgraced family legacy. The rules never applied to the Biden crime family, and they all got rich off it. Surprisingly, commentator Charlie Kirk was more forgiving, saying, "Breaking, Biden to pardon his son Hunter. Honestly, I don't think this is something worth getting mad over. A father should look after his son. Joe has been so mistreated by the Democrat Party and disrespected. This is the one thing he's actually always cared about." Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, blasted Biden, saying, "Joe Biden has lied from start to finish about his family's corrupt influence peddling activities. Not only has he falsely claimed that he never met with his son's foreign business associates and that his son did nothing wrong, but he also lied when he said he would not pardon Hunter Biden."
And I mean, of course he did. Y'all got to think about this shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at this point. Yeah. But if you're a smart thinking individual, you always know that he was going to pardon that boy. Let's just keep this real. This is his only son, that's alive, basically. And yeah, he wasn't finna let, his underboss go down. It just is what it is. And these are the facts. And then to go into what they were saying about him not knowing or allegedly knowing who, it is what it is about what his son was up to and stuff like that. Under the table, as a parent, you know what your children are into. You may not know all the super details, things like that. I get it, and of life and stuff, but say you know what your children are into. All right, so we about to keep this joint moving. Let's go here now. Let's see what MSNBC got to talk about.
That President Biden is expected to pardon his son, Hunter Biden. The president's son was convicted on all 3 felony charges in June related to the purchase of a revolver in 2018 when prosecutors argued Hunter lied on a mandatory gun purchase form by saying he was not illegally using or addicted to drugs. According to NBC News, the president made the decision this weekend. Molly, fast and furious, what do you make of this new news?
I just heard it. I have to process it. I don't have a take. I'm sorry.
Anyone, Michelle, Mary, presidential power in action on President Biden pardoning his son.
I mean, look, I don't think that Democrats can uphold all of these norms single-handedly. Hunter Biden was prosecuted for a crime that kind of a normal person who had committed the same crime would almost certainly not be prosecuted for. And Joe Biden bent over backwards not to intervene in order to show, sort of how.
Hold on. How was that? How was that? You lying on forms about, drug use, stuff like that, to get a firearm. So I don't understand how that works. Hold on here. Let's keep going.
How much of a respecter of norms he was, unlike Donald Trump. But,
yeah,
we see kind of what that got him. And I certainly understand why, why he would not want to forfeit the future and life of his son to uphold a set of norms that are about to go up in smoke.
What do you think of this, Mary? The president had said that he would not seek a pardon for his son, and here we are using presidential power. Is this now kind of a blank check to the incoming administration to use whatever power is at its disposal for whatever things it wishes to achieve?
Well, as you know, the pardon power is absolute. It is one of those powers that is exclusively given to the president. And I do think, people will be asking Joe Biden what changed, because he did say pretty clearly he was not planning to pardon his son.
What changed is the holidays. At the end of the day, when they sat down and things like that, they had that understanding. Joe Biden has grandchildren to think about, has a family to think about. And, it just is what it is, like it or not. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge Joe fan, but I'm saying, though, I do get the understanding. If you have that type of power, and I don't care who the fuck you are out there, if you have that type of power to do such things like that, you would do it too. I don't care what you talk about. For real, though.
Note, we are ending a Thanksgiving Day weekend, and I'm sure the family was all together, and I'm sure that caused him to think long and hard. But I will be interested to hear what he has to say about what changed. Michelle is right that the crimes that Hunter Biden was prosecuted for are things that would not ordinarily result in the types of prosecution we saw. And
would it? So if a normal, regular American citizen get caught up in something like that, you mean to tell me that they won't get prosecuted? Okay.
I don't think that issuing a pardon opens the floodgates to abuses of other types of power, because a pardon is part of that exclusive authority of the president. We know that the incoming president has already talked about various types of pardons. I'm hoping he will not engage in all of those that he has suggested, particularly with respect to the January 6th attackers, those who attacked the U.S. Capitol. But that all, of course, remains to be seen.
Yeah. Attack. Okay. So we're going to keep this thing moving here, and we got more for you guys. And it's wild out here that, the situation is going on. So we're going to go here now, and we're going to check some things out about the new FBI pick that Donald Trump just picked to lead the FBI, and see how that may have affected Joe Biden's decision in this, pardoning his son. Let's go here now.
Let's bring in Katie Simpson in Washington. And Katie, this is a significant reversal.
President Joe Biden had said repeatedly he would not pardon his son. And so, as you say, Ian, this is a major reversal on a deeply personal matter. Hunter Biden has experienced severe addiction issues and was about to be sentenced in 2 separate criminal cases stemming from a very dark period in his life, a conviction on federal gun charges and then a guilty plea on tax evasion charges. In a statement, Biden says he did it because he feels his son was, quote, selectively and unfairly prosecuted because his opponents, his political opponents, were trying to hurt him politically. He called it a miscarriage of justice, and he hopes that Americans can understand why.
So, I mean, can we say the same thing about what they just did to Trump? You know what I'm saying? And put him in a position to where we could actually say that, a convicted felon is a president and things like that, and created all types of confusion over basically nonsense.
As a father, he did this. And it comes the day after Donald Trump made a highly controversial announcement in selecting a deeply partisan ally to lead the FBI.
Kash Patel, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks so much for having me here.
Kash Patel is a star of the right-wing podcast ecosystem, an aggressive defender of Donald Trump who has spent months calling for revenge against the president-elect's critics and perceived enemies.
We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
A former lawyer and first-term Trump staffer who worked in intelligence, this is the man Trump wants leading the FBI. He spread the lie the 2020 election was stolen and has railed against the justice system, claiming it was weaponized against Trump to blunt his political comeback. All key themes of Trump's re-election bid.
I am your justice, and for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
Trump has made several controversial picks so far, most notably former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who was investigated over allegations of sex trafficking a minor. He had to decline his attorney general nomination following intense backlash. Democrats hope to stop Patel's nomination too, with some accusing him of being a danger to democracy.
Kash Patel's only qualification is because he agrees with Donald Trump that the Department of Justice should serve to punish, lock up, and intimidate Donald Trump's political opponents.
But
oh Lord, here we go. See, this is the thing right here. It's always the influence of people that want to sit there and say that, these people want to use the system and things like that. When at the end of the day, though, the Democratic Party has been using the system to do their bidding as well. So if everybody's going to use the system to do their bidding, then it just is what the fuck it is. I mean, but I'm not in agreement with none of this shit. Everything should be fair. Everything should be equal. And the thing of this is if we're actually out here, using the system for checks and balances, it's no way that we need to use the system sideways. And I guarantee you, listen, look, I mean, we clearly see it. Joe pardoned his son, things like that, after he clearly said for an ample amount of time that he was not going to do this. So, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. It's crazy. All right. We're going to check this out here and see what's going on.
This is an ABC News special report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis at ABC News headquarters here in New York. We're coming on the air this hour with breaking news. President Biden has just pardoned his son Hunter on gun and tax charges that he was facing. The president reversed his previous position. He had long said that he would not pardon Hunter, expressing faith in the justice system and the rule of law. President Biden was emphatic, telling our David Muir this summer that he would not pardon his son when he was directly asked. And Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters on Monday that the president had spoken on the issue. ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl joins us now on the phone. And John, does this come as a surprise to you?
Lindsay, frankly, it doesn't come as a surprise to me. I know President Biden, as you said, was emphatic when he told David Muir that he would not pardon his son Hunter. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, was asked this many times over the following several months after that interview, and she reiterated there were, that a pardon was off the table. But look, this is the president's son. It comes on the day after that Donald Trump was announced that Kash Patel would be his FBI director. A move that signaled that Donald Trump's administration would be taking seriously the idea of retribution on his political enemies. I don't think that there will be many people, Democrats, Republicans, Americans, that are surprised that Joe Biden decided that his son, facing these two separate investigations, two separate trials, two separate convictions, would decide that he would pardon his son at this point.
And what kind of punishment would Hunter have faced had his dad not pardoned him?
He faced the possibility of significant jail time. I mean, these were both serious charges. The tax trial out in California, the gun charges in Delaware, both faced the possibility of sentences, and he was facing sentencing later this month.
Right. Let's keep this real. Like I said earlier, these charges were real charges. If a normal citizen, that was not connected like this, had to caught these type of gun charges or tax charges or anything like that, it would be a huge problem. I mean, you got people that's been locked up for the PPP shit. This is life, though. This is life. Yeah, and it's nowhere around it. Hunter Biden was facing serious fucking charges where he could actually do real time, and it just is what it is.
Both could have resulted in jail time. And look, Joe Biden knows his son Hunter is somebody who is a recovering drug addict. The idea of serving time in prison could well have been a death sentence to him. This was, I know that that Joe Biden has said at times that he lost one of his sons. He lost Bo to brain cancer, and he has confided to people, "I'll be damned if I'm going to lose another one."
This is an AB.
Hey, it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hear it. This is how it's going down. So yeah, Joe Biden decided to pardon his son. Hey, definitely with what's going on, and the new FBI pick that Trump just picked and things like that. Now, I don't think it's just going to be, this horrible situation to where, retribution and stuff like that. But, the thing of this is I think it does, a lot of things do need to clear the air. A lot of shit has to clear the air, and on this political side, people have their issues and stuff like that. They're at war politically. So, accept it or not, that's how it's going down. That's just how it's going down. But to be honest with you, though, for Biden, he's been, talking about he's not going to, give his son a pardon and stuff like that. Any normal human being that understands that they have the love for their child, if they have that type of power and shit, no, they're not gonna let their child go through that. I don't give a fuck who you talking about. It just is what it is. But here we go. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell. To be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say, that, my friends, is the bottom line.